You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Learn more at wearelibertarians.com.
Welcome, everybody, to the Boss Hog of Liberty podcast. This is Jeremiah Morrell. I'm joined with our co-host, as always, Dakota Davis.
Yep.
Welcome,
we had
sir.
a busy week.
We did. What episode are we on?
We are on episode 15.
15, halfway to 30.
Yep, halfway there.
We're making big progress here. So we've had a busy week. Actually, we took a week off, so we've packed a lot in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. Well, we did do 2 episodes in one.
We did. Yeah. People can't complain too much because
Maybe,
Travis Wyke, episode 14 was an absolute train wreck. A lot of fun, but it felt like 2 episodes, and it was just a long night for everybody.
It was an incredibly long night. 4 o'clock in the morning came super early.
You're crazy for doing that. So today on the show, we're joined by 2 guests. So you've got Dakota, as always, who's on my right, throwing me off completely. We're poolside back here, as has become the tradition, but the table has moved. Had my birthday party since the last episode. I guess the last time we didn't record out here, but now my table's turned. Dakota's on my right, and I'm all discombobulated back here. We'll be okay. On my left today is my baby brother. Took 15 episodes, but Danny Morrell has made an appearance. Welcome, Danny.
Hey-o.
Finally made a show.
Yeah, I was waiting for the weather to be right to be outside.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Not a cloud in the sky.
You brought your sunglasses, and you're a talent booker. You said I will appear if you let this homeless guy in a van come on my show. So what are we getting into here?
Well, we have a gentleman named Jordan Michael, and he is a friend through my girlfriend, and luckily we get along because we are forced to spend a copious amount of time together, and the situation has worked out pretty well so far.
Another forced friendship, Dakota.
That sounds vaguely familiar.
But
except the girlfriends are forcing them to be friends instead of me just adopting you.
Yeah. Are you going to make him start doing slave labor at your house like Jeremiah does me?
It's not slavery.
No, he's
it's a trade.
He's leaving on Sunday, so I don't think I'm going to get much of his labor out of him. But he has been coined the name of MJ.
Yeah, so I've known you as MJ, and then on Facebook you go by Jordan Burrow, and it's Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson. What?
So my name is Jordan Michael Bruno. So there's a reason for the MJ, kind of, but that's all my girlfriend's doing. I met her on Tinder.
Oh, really?
Like all good 28-year-olds should meet girls today on the internet, and. At the time, my name on Facebook, which whatever your name on Facebook is, what your name on Tinder is, for whatever reason.
You're committed.
You're committed. And I changed my name on Facebook to Mike Luna, who's one of my best friends from back home. Switched my picture to pictures of him, just to confuse people.
So she fell in love with him.
She fell in love with him. The first meeting went well enough that she decided to keep me around, but she thought my name was Michael and started calling me MJ. She said she had too many other Jordans in her life. And...
So
that's it. I just want to say, for the record, I might be a homeless guy in a van, but I have definitely listened to more episodes than Danny has.
I bet so. I think Danny so Hannah, his girlfriend, has, I think, forced him to listen to a couple just to support myself and Dakota in this project. I listen to James Hinchcliffe's podcast all the time, and he has IndyCar drivers on, and he'll do about 15 or 20 episodes a year.
Totally not that cool.
And none of the IndyCar drivers that come on his podcast have ever listened to it either. So it's whatever.
You're doing fine.
It's fine. Yeah. Spangle's brother has no idea he even hosts a podcast, so it doesn't bother me.
I've listened to like 1.5.
1.5.
On some long trips back and forth to Chicago.
There you go. And you'll listen to this one just to hear your own voice.
No, I don't need to do that. I'm here.
I always listen to the ones that my voice are in.
It'll make me cringe the entire time.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, yeah. For the first good 45 minutes, you're like, man, I really sound like that.
I'm an idiot. This is awful.
Yeah.
Is that a 13-year-old girl or a 30-year-old gray-haired
I really
man?
did only have one beer, and I sound that inebriated.
Is there like a Morgan Freeman button on that soundboard?
It only gets used for me. The rest of you sound like Squeak.
Okay,
That's fair. When I come on the MJ cast, you'll sound like the voice of God.
Right. So what is the deal with the van, MJ? Is that like a tiny house living or something? Should you be on HGTV?
No, not quite. I'm sure in the matter of a few months, there'll probably be something on HGTV where they're building out vans. I heard they were going to start having a show where they're going to build out buses. But
they did. It's called "You Can't Make a House Out of That."
Exactly. So I don't know if they've had an Astro van on yet, but that's what we have. 2002 Astro van, bad Astro.
A white Chevy Astro.
White Chevy Astro.
Bad
It looks like you're a painter.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's got an awning on it. We noticed that.
It's got an awning and a bike rack to make it a little more, civilian-like and not so creepy. It also has 3 windows. So
you should probably get some stickers on there before you go.
Definitely.
Free candy, Bernie Bros, something.
Yeah.
Something to just let people know where what the story is.
They need to know. The people need to know. But yeah, so my girlfriend and I decided we like traveling together and didn't kill each other any of our other trips we've taken.
So you've decided, let's test the relationship in the ultimate way possible.
Yeah.
And so how long are you going to be gone for? A couple weeks, months? What's the plan?
So the plan for now is leave on Sunday, and we'll be gone until November. Then we'll be back November through Christmas. We're going to come back and work. We had some things to do, a couple weddings. And after that, take off. We'll pick up where we left off if we're still friends. And, I always remind her this could be our last trip together, so just enjoy it while it lasts.
There's 2 ways this will work out.
Yeah, exactly.
Marriage or separation.
Right, absolutely. But yeah, just gonna go and see some places that we've wanted to see for a while. And she's kind of been everywhere already. I've never been out of Indiana, so
that's not true. I saw you in Chicago a month ago.
I was in Chicago, and I'm still trying to figure that trip out.
Yeah, you and me both.
How did that happen?
I made it up there and back in one day. And it was at least the opera we went to was in English. That's the best part of it.
It was in English. I still couldn't understand 90% of it.
Had you ever seen Little Women before? Did you have any idea what was going on?
No, I've heard of Little Women, never seen it, read it.
Yeah,
I've never been to an opera.
They didn't force you to read the book, and whenever you were in like 8th grade.
No.
Oh, they did me. Yeah.
I missed that one too.
Yeah, Danny and I were homeschooled, so we we really just had to read Genesis and maybe a little bit of Revelations, and we were covered.
I had Leviticus forced down my throat a few times, but I still eat pork.
That's right.
I also noticed that you've trimmed the edges of your hair.
Just a touch.
Are those clothing? Is that made of mixed fibers?
It would be. I'm wearing several different fabrics right now, so
Very
Stone
live by
Stone
the
'em. Do you have rocks?
Old Testament.
I do have rocks. I have stoning rocks in the back. Maybe before we go, MJ will help us stone one of our guests.
Absolutely.
But so that you have the goodwill of the Lord on your side for your journey.
MJ, you work at a brewery.
Yes. Yeah.
Which I always have trouble saying brewery.
Brewery.
I just feel like it's...
You could go brew pub. That's easier.
Okay, you work at a brew pub.
Yeah, work at a brew pub.
There we go. There we go.
He's a problem solver too.
Exactly. Yeah.
So how does the brew pub feel about you taking months off of work?
Will they know this that you're gone?
As far as work goes,
you're from like the hipster part of Indianapolis. If that's flannel wearing southeast side, like you're Virginia
my beard,
Avenue.
I think is a giveaway. I didn't bust out the flannel today, but
it is
still
July.
A little too warm. Yeah,
as we record.
I saw some jackets today. People, they were ready to bust them out.
I brought one just in case.
Yeah, exactly. You want to look cool. Yeah, the brewery. It's Chili Water Brewing Company. It's in Fletcher Place, which is in the 3 years that I've lived here, just become Eat Street USA. You know, there's all these restaurants on the block that just get blown up in every food and magazine and local publication all the time. So
it's kind of halfway between Fountain Square and like where the Colts Stadium is.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Yep. Yeah, it's
downtown Indianapolis.
Downtown, right on the other side of the bridge of Fountain Square.
So we've moved on from Mass Ave. Is that what I'm hearing?
They just keep moving south. They were at Broad Ripple, and that's for Broad Ripple Rob, and then Mass Ave is Seth's neighborhood. So now the lumberjacks and the metrosexuals like Danny have to go down to Fletcher to Fletcher Place.
I've never been in Club Metro, just to be clear.
They make very strong drinks there.
I don't even know what Club Metro is.
I think I walked by it 4 times at Pride Day last year when I was trying to run Rex's campaign, and they nearly killed me. It was, Brett Bittner started throwing up because he had maple syrup running through his blood, and nobody knew it at the time. But
Right. He did.
I was down.
He had the diabetes.
He's beat it now. He's got through it. So, Danny, what in the world are you up to? You've bought. You're my baby brother. You don't look it. If we look at you, you've got the gray hair, and you're balding like I am now.
Allegedly.
Well, we took a picture. Everybody
You're balding?
Knows. Up top, a little bit. It's not.
He's just turning into a solar-powered sex machine. So
Clay Morgan's really doing a good job hiding it for
I
you.
did go see Clay this morning.
Yeah, I could tell.
Yeah,
I think today's actually the first time I've seen you with glasses on.
This is the first. So it's been a whole thing. This is my 3 trips to the optometrist to get my glasses. And I've got the transitions lenses because I feel like a 47-year-old lesbian now when I wear these. If I take them off, I look like myself, and if I put them on, I look like I'm trying to be Jeff Vibbert as Rachel Maddow. But
did you get the whole kit with the Birkenstocks and a Subaru? Or
no, the Subaru's extra. Okay. After Danny's last episode with a Subaru, I don't know that I want a Subaru. And then he went out and bought a Japanese car last weekend.
Yeah, we may have to save the Subaru story for another time.
Is that a problem?
I'm not over it, and it will take the entire airtime, and I'll have to go get all the receipts.
Danny sells to the auto industry in Indiana, and Subaru is assembled in Tippecanoe County, about an hour out north of Indianapolis. A lot of Japanese manufacturing around here, so he had the ultimate car made of Indiana parts, made in Indiana, and it was the worst car he ever owned in his life. 1 transmission, a couple motors.
I had a clutch and a throw-out bearing and a sleeve for the transmission quill, flywheel, 3 turbos, and 1 motor within a period of...
A year?
No, it was more like 6 months.
Why'd you get rid of it? Everything was new.
It still had engines that were coming on like a Christmas tree, and it burned oil every time he took off, and
wow.
It was time to move on and cut my losses.
Yeah, he had to give up his Subaru wagon, whether he wanted to or not.
Can't go wrong with old Chevy trucks.
That's the longest running truck I've ever owned.
Yeah,
so
Danny's had a diesel, a 3/4 ton Chevy diesel for probably 12 years now.
Yeah, close to it.
Yeah,
that thing will never die.
Mm-mm. The body's falling off, but that's not necessary.
800,000 miles on that engine.
The Chevy rust that keeps on giving. So since we last had a podcast, this is going to be a little all over the place because I've been busy today, and I didn't send out show notes, so we've kind of got a loose running plan. Since the last podcast, I had a birthday party over here. I think we probably had covered that, but I needed to have my brother and my parents got me a new bar and a sweet cooler rack.
The term they got is wrong.
They constructed.
We handcrafted.
Hand built. Although I do need some warranty work. My cooler rack over there, it has you didn't allow for adequate spacing of your boards, and there's been some swelling.
Yeah, there's room for improvement, but we didn't allow for room for growth.
Hey,
right.
He'll do better next time. The one he makes for himself.
Yeah, wait till Hannah's birthday comes around. There'll be neon lights.
When she gets one.
You could sell those in our neighborhood for $1,500, no problem.
I'm all over it.
Insane. So I've got this great. I've got the table set up back here. We're poolside. I've got a new bar. I've got my grill and the cooler cabinet. So I needed to have a power outlet out here to run the lights that my father got me. Some little flamingo lights. So I needed that. And Dakota, still not knowing how passionate I am about something, once I decide we're going to do it, says, "Yeah, we can put a power light in over there." So then
I had no idea. It was like, "Hey, do you want to put a power outlet in over there?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I can come over sometime and get that done." All right, how about Saturday?
That's exactly, yeah. You're on the calendar, and that's the key for me is once it's on the calendar, it's an immovable object. But as you found out, I'm just as committed. If I have an event on my calendar and I'm going to help you, I'm going to be at your house before you're ready for me to be at your house to help you do whatever the hell we're supposed to be doing too.
Very true.
It works both ways. So we found power. Dakota and I crawled into my crawl space, spent a couple hours on a Saturday, and we were very, very close.
For the record, I am terrified of spiders.
And is everyone aware of how...
There's pictures of me.
Okay.
I mean,
I wasn't trying to point anything out, but I just want to bring this full picture.
I was committed to the project. I've been in this crawl space a number of times. I've done plumbing projects down there. I've run speaker wire.
It's a snug fit.
Well, I had never been to the part of the crawl space we went to. Dakota and I went to. Dakota wears a size 32 slim, and put on his skinny jeans to go down there, so he didn't have any spiders sneaking up his legs. And I wore my cargo
exactly
shorts.
True. I wore the tightest pants I had.
They're compression
with my
fit
work boots.
jeans.
Yeah.
And
with my work boots so that they wouldn't be able to crawl up in
I went down in an old Colts t-shirt, some cargo shorts, and and some flip-flops probably, or tennis shoes or something. And
be honest, they're Crocs.
Well, no, the Crocs, I would never risk those.
Okay.
I had on a long-sleeve shirt, my pants, my boots, gloves over my shirt, and a respirator. And Jeremiah's down there looking like it's a chill Sunday afternoon out by the pool.
He is terrified of spiders. I had no idea how much he was afraid of those.
I'm good with
snakes. And there's a lot of dead spiders
like
down there.
There's a lot of spiders.
So
it's like the Chamber of Secrets. Spiders everywhere.
My only struggle was getting under the beam, the cross beam that runs across the house. I had never tried to slide under that before. And when I got stuck the first time, I had to stop and calm myself.
Did Dakota have to go back and get the shovel to
No,
down
I just pushed on his shoulders with my legs.
No,
there was one point in time we ended up spooning.
We did spoon for a little bit. I looked over and I
box.
said, "Hey, buddy, at least you're the little spoon."
That's not as comforting as you
it was comforting.
might think.
It was comforting to me.
Yeah.
I didn't really care about his feelings. I just wanted to know that he was the one that was dominated.
He said, "Hey, first time spooning is checked off the list."
I've been that little spoon, and it's not as comforting as you might think.
Yeah. So it was fine. We worked it out. There were some panic moments. We wanted to find power from the outlet on the wall, and none of the electricity that was running through running along was shown. So we had to pull it from another donor circuit and run it across. The only option we had. Got to the wall, and then Dakota was absolutely terrified he was going to drill through the sill plate into my guest bedroom. So we had to talk him off the ledge for that for a good 10 or 15 minutes and recalculate, and it was fine. It worked out okay.
I was so terrified that I was going to pop right through the carpet with my drill bit. Oh,
so yeah,
horrible.
It was it was an adventure. And then when we didn't have a fish tape. I said, "Do we need a fish tape?" Oh no, we're fine. And then we spent a good portion of time trying to figure out how to get it back up the wall and out. But it looks good. We got power, and we're actually running the podcast today off the power that Dakota and I put in. So
we actually ended up using. We did need a fish tape. We couldn't get the wire up, but in lieu of one, we took a couple of old Rex Bell signs.
We sacrificed 3 Rex Bell for governor signs. Yes,
and bent the legs and taped them together, and they worked wonderfully. Rex told me that a really good purpose for those was to bend them up and make them into hooks for corkboard, for organizing tools and things. But I think using them as a fish tape would be better.
Going to start a sub-business here. If anybody needs some fish tape, we can sell 6-foot sections of it.
I can probably set you up as a vendor through work.
That's right.
There we go.
It's the fabrication requires a couple sets of pliers and maybe some. I think we use some electrical tape as well. But it worked out. So that worked out okay. And then to repay Dakota, I said, "Hey, I'll help you, buddy, with your fence. You bought from Dustin Reed, another We Are Libertarians guy. You bought about 7 linear board miles of
I bought a lot of fence.
Fence.
There was 32 panels and 3 gates, and I think that we covered it in an earlier podcast. But if you didn't hear the story, I basically had to go there, pay him, and then take all of the fence down myself and load it up onto the trailer, which made for an interesting afternoon. It was an intense job just getting the fence down, and then I put it in my backyard, and it sat there for about 6 weeks, because I'm not like Jeremiah. Whenever I get my mind set on something, it gets set in my mind as, we'll come back to it later.
I'm going to do that someday. Danny's even worse than me. Danny mentioned something on Saturday morning. "Hey, I think I'm going to take this tree down one day." And then I get a Snapchat yesterday morning, I think, and you've totally eliminated a tree out of the backyard. Danny's even more impulsive than I am when it comes to getting stuff done.
It's called beast mode.
Yeah, and the same thing happened. You're talking about buying a car, and then within a week you've sold your car and bought a new one.
The wheels are always turning.
Yeah. We're very. If something's
like
going to
the
happen,
wheels in the sky.
it's quick.
They keep on turning.
So So last weekend, Dakota and I Danny and I had some commitments with the family where we had to move some of my parents' stuff from one terrible storage location to another.
I ended up with some treasures.
You did. You wound up taking half of it home.
Some
you
of it
fell
I
for
didn't
Dad's
want
trap
at all. Yeah, you would think after 30 years I would be on to it. He's a crafty veteran.
I came home with one pellet gun that belonged to our grandfather. At least that's the story I was told. And you wound up with
That's
a half
Daisy
of a stock trailer.
760 model.
Yeah, it's a pellet gun too.
Yeah.
I think it'll shoot pellets, bolts, BBs.
There you go.
It needs a little TLC, but I've got it. It's safe now. It's
I use
with
a
me.
pellet gun with squirrel. Whenever I hunt squirrel,
You're such a redneck.
well, I find it's quieter, so it tends to not scare them all. Like they don't just jump all around.
Instead of BBs, or instead of a 22.
Yeah, instead of a 22.
Yeah.
I tried the whole shotgun method, but then you're just pulling the little pellets out of the meat.
You're eating lead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not any good.
You need a oil can silencer for your 22.
Yes, that is what I need. Actually, I think Smith & Wesson is coming out with a silenced 22 long rifle for squirrel hunting, and that I'm going to be all about.
Squirrel hunting with Dakota.
You
I'm
said
sure-
that you were going to come this year.
I am. I said I would do it. Get it on the calendar.
Have you ever had squirrel? Have you ever eaten squirrel?
I rescued a dead. Well, I didn't rescue it. I removed a dead squirrel out of the pool. And,
But you've not eaten it.
And gave it a fling. I've never eaten squirrel.
You can.
You fry
Your
it?
eyes are going to be wide open to a whole new world of possibilities for protein.
I've wanted to eat squirrel forever, but I just never knew anybody that
That had
how to
access.
clean it or did it. Because I'll eat anything. I don't
It's
really
actually
think
like really
anything at
simple.
all.
You just take the
Is it
the
just
back
like cleaning
skin.
a rabbit or something?
Well,
or
you take the
chicken?
back, you pull it up, make a slice, and then you can literally just pull the skin off like a t-shirt.
This
Yeah.
might come in handy on the van adventure. This could
Yeah,
be a new
actually,
delicacy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Friday night date night.
This
Yeah.
feels like to me a lot like the Oregon Trail, where you're going to have to buy a certain number of bullets and hunt either oxen or rabbit along the way, maybe squirrel.
I kind of like that idea because I wanted to do a lot of fishing in all these different states, but I can't afford to buy a fishing license in every state if we're only going to be there for, a week at the most.
Right.
But now I don't, maybe I'll just pick up a nice pellet gun.
Maybe
Don't have to worry about, any weird gun laws getting caught up. It's just a pellet gun and
Yep.
maybe you need to look into sovereign citizenship. Declare yourself a sovereign citizen, and then gun laws and fishing licenses don't apply to you because it's a God given right.
That's just a switch
agree.
you flip one day, right?
You just decide it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Google it. There are people that are completely convinced.
And then whenever the police ask you, you say, "No, I'm a sovereign citizen."
I
Get
just-
my,
they usually
get on my
just let
face.
you go.
Yeah, I just watched a video on that. It didn't work out that well for that lady.
Or you can pay the fine when it comes
Right,
time.
yeah.
It's up to you. And they take your one fishing pole. I mean, you can't. Let's
They
be
can
honest,
also
you're gonna
take the van.
You're going to live out of a Chevy Astro. It's
Right.
not like you're not going to have a lot of fishing tackle.
No, I was thinking a rod and
Yeah.
a couple of lures.
Yeah.
Some hooks. Dig up my own worms.
Yep. Hey,
Go all natural.
of course. Are you going to Portland first? Is that stop number one on the trip?
Keep Portland weird.
No, definitely not. Although I'm sure Portland has quite the van dweller community. I'm certain of it.
There's got to be like van dweller clubs.
Oh yeah, definitely. Actually,
Oh, yeah, you watch those tiny house shows, and it's like every single one of them is from Portland, and or Seattle, Washington.
Yeah.
there's a lot
Oh,
in
absolutely.
Washington too, but which
I don't
I've
think
always
we're
loved
that.
the
I don't
idea.
think we're cool enough to be part of some of those clubs. But you never know. I actually did go to a truck-in over Memorial Day weekend, which was pretty cool. Never been to one of those before. I was like the 43rd Midwest Vans Limited, which is a van club that's been around forever. since the van craze, in the 70s. So there were just a ton of really cool older people, younger people there, and all kinds of different crazy vans.
It was a lot of old nudist men, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. My beer pong partner, which we took second place, which was pretty sweet, was
congratulations.
Thanks, man. Got a nice plaque and everything, and she was 50-some year old Canadian woman, and she was a beast.
Wow.
She was awesome. So yeah, all the vanners could definitely put them back for sure.
Jeremiah had to point out that it was a she. I'm pretty sure that's a microaggression.
I'm sure she's a fine lumberjack. Coming from the North Woods. It sounds great.
That's a little bit better.
That is definitely a much different community than the Portland van scene kind of hipster thing for sure. All these people, I don't know if they get along or not. It didn't really come up. So I'm like, I don't know where I fit in. Am I too young to be cool like all these old guys? I don't know, but they weren't.
You had a van. That's all that mattered.
They weren't the bearded flannel skinny jean crowd at all for sure. So
it feels like Ice Road Truckers has moved to a van. If you're
right,
hanging out with
those,
that's the vibe I would get out of it.
Yeah.
So there you go. So your fence, we got Dakota. We got how much done Saturday?
We got 11 panels and a gate.
Yeah.
Done.
And then we said, the hell with it. We're done for the night. We're going to eat Danny's chicken that he left us.
Yep,
Danny,
that's correct. We were all ready to go swimming.
So Saturday night, you and your fiance and Sarah and myself and another couple came back here, hung out, ate fried chicken that Danny had left from the weekend before.
He didn't leave us any tenders, though.
He did leave the tenders. I found them later.
Oh, man.
I know.
Dang.
I know.
For our 4-H pitch-in for Horse and Pony, we really had no idea how many people we were going to feed, and we typically spend about $1,500 on awards every year for the Horse and Pony Club, and we spent $600 on chicken for the one pitch-in. So next year, I think that we're going to recount and try to come up with a little better budgeting skills.
I think you probably could have had 2 hogs roasted for that kind of money.
Easily.
Yeah.
But it's Lee's chicken.
It was good.
You know what?
Did you
Jeremiah
bring that
and
to the
I.
concert?
Yeah,
that was awesome chicken.
So we had so much that we also brought a whole tray of chicken to the Dierks Bentley concert and ate at A4
and fed the entire
after.
infield.
Yeah, there
Brilliant.
were 50 pieces of chicken in there at least, I think.
Yeah. Some sad mismanagement of 4-H funds.
Looking back on it, it was a great personal decision, but not a very good club decision.
That's the first year. First year for you guys making these leadership decisions. You'll get better.
Well, I'll make sure to step up my squirrel game this year for you.
That's right.
You can
maybe
feed all the Chillins fried squirrel legs.
Maybe if everything goes right, Dakota can have frog legs and squirrel legs for the whole 4-H club next year.
I do love frog legs.
So Sunday, Dakota and I were going to pick this back up, and a monsoon descended upon Henry County, Indiana.
Oh my gosh, it was horrible.
So we showed up. Sarah and I showed up at Audrey and Dakota's, and it's raining, and we finally just kind of give up on the dream of getting any more fence panels built. So somehow it turned into Dakota's going to run away and not help me finish the story. He needs more beer. This is the part of the podcast where we all talk about what beer we're drinking today. Danny has brought us Sam Adams Summer Ale, lemon wheat. What are you drinking, Daniel Paul?
I am drinking the Sam Adams Porch Rocker.
Porch Rocker. Is that the same thing? What's
No,
different about it?
You didn't get this.
What's different between Porch Rocker and Summer Ale?
This is tart and refreshing.
Mine doesn't say that it's either of those things.
Oh man,
That
is tart and refreshing.
I've
Yeah?
got some like regret now that I don't have something tart and refreshing.
Well, MJ actually.
Missing out.
MJ and Dakota, everybody's drinking it but me. I have the Summer Ale, and they've all got the good stuff.
MJ actually brought some beer from his beer pub.
I saw
we'll be
that
having later.
the chili water. Maybe that'll be post show, or maybe we'll have to go get some cups. We'll see.
We could just pass the growler around.
That's
No problem there.
just do some chugging.
Yeah.
Just do pulls off of it.
That's doable too.
You're
So
talking to a man that lives in a van.
that's.
We're not packing.
Can you get accused of drunk driving if you're at home?
Fair question. I haven't looked into it enough yet. Maybe if I get the van insured as an RV, but I think I would need a toilet for that. I'm not sure how that works.
I have a serious question. I was sitting in Jeremiah's driveway waiting, and had brought 8 beers, but I turned that 8 beers into a 7-pack. And I was sitting in his driveway with the key not in the ignition because the car is pushed to start.
Right.
And the way I've always been told is you can be in your vehicle intoxicated and not get charged with a DUI.
I think you're supposed to put your keys in the trunk in that situation.
But I can still start the car.
Well, that's the bitch of the new rule of the new car, isn't it?
Yeah, this technology has really put some gray area into the drinking and sitting.
Yeah, I've ridden my bike over here a couple of times because I thought, hey, I can drink as much as I want and be in the clear. Turns out you can still get a DUI, even if you're on your bike. You just have to be on the sidewalk and on your bike.
Well, we don't have sidewalks this far south.
Well, I mean, that's a risk to take.
2018, I'll have sidewalks all the way to my neighborhood.
It's like a half a
That gets
mile.
confusing in the city because it's illegal to ride your bicycle on the sidewalk. In downtown
Yeah.
Minneapolis, I know Chicago, probably most cities are that way.
Yeah, we have marked bike paths. It looks like little Japanese people with that are on bicycles or whatever with the way they design their helmets. It looks like the rice workers hat or whatever it is. That's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, it's pretty hilarious.
We have a crack art department in Newcastle for the bike paths. So yeah, all interesting questions to
Couldn't
ponder.
afford the good stencils. You know, just
No.
spray
We I think they were homebrewed. So you're listening to the Boss Hog Liberty Podcast. Jeremiah Morrell and Dakota Davis, Daniel Paul Morrell, my baby brother, and MJ Jordan Bruno or Michael Jordan Bruno. Nobody really knows for sure. Well,
I don't know anymore.
yeah, it's very complicated. All we know is that there's a white Chevy van in my driveway, and he appears to have committed to a lifestyle of living in it. So we were trying to cover the story of Dakota and I'd volunteered my services. Got through 1 day of labor at his house. He only did 1 day of labor here. I did 1 day at his place, and then we were going to work on a second day, and we got rained out. So what happened? What did we decide to do?
We were sitting in my living room trying to decide what the plan was for the day. In my head, I'm thinking, we'll just take breaks when it starts raining and go back outside whenever it's not, and put up a couple panels, head back inside.
But it was muddy. It had gotten muddy.
Well, I had muck boots at the house.
Right.
But anyway, the idea, I'm not sure who brought up the idea, Jeremiah,
It was probably me.
brought up the idea. What if we just went to pet stores and looked for puppies?
Who's
And-
going to turn that down, MJ?
Sounds like a sweet deal. Way better than putting a fence up.
Yeah.
It'd look good in your van.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was just like, all right, let's go. And
The ladies were on board with the plan. Dakota was crushed, but he knew he couldn't say no.
yeah, I couldn't say no. It was like 10:30 when we left the house.
Yeah.
And we didn't get back until,
7?
about 7 o'clock that night.
We
went to three
Uncle Bills.
Uncle Bills and a Humane Society. And it was...
And we had lunch at BJ's, but Dakota did not realize that BJ's was a restaurant and not code for something else. So
I
he
heard,
was-
let's have BJ's, and
Yeah.
I was like, all right.
Done.
Then we pulled up to a restaurant.
Puppies and BJ's? All right.
What kind of a cruel world do we live in?
Yeah. So it was an interesting day. The first stop we didn't see anything that we liked. The East Washington Street Uncle Bill's pet store. So we said let's just do a tour of Uncle Bill's.
I found something that I liked at the East Uncle Bill's.
What was that?
Yeah, they had that golden doodle there.
No, that was at the other one.
It was?
Yeah,
Oh.
it was at the second. There was
Let's have
nothing
too many
at
beers
first
at BJ's.
So we went to Greenwood, and that's where you found the golden doodle. And there were kids everywhere, like just totally packed full.
The worst.
These places are completely
Children.
full of sticky children and puppies that are peeing everywhere. Nothing has a price on it. No pricing on any of these animals.
So we immediately fall in love with this golden doodle because it's the dog we've been wanting for forever.
Not
Is-
you and I, you and Audrey.
Yeah, Audrey and I, we had been wanting a golden doodle or a labradoodle for ever. I mean, 2 or 3 years. And so we immediately fall in love with this little puppy and the perfect dog. And then I ask one of the workers, I'm like, hey, how much is a golden doodle? She says, hold on a second, I'll be right back. She comes out and she says, it's 27. Oh no, it's $27.99.
Yeah,
U.S.
American
US,
dollars,
American dollars.
Greenwood coin.
$2,800 for a golden doodle.
How much is that in Bitcoin?
That's like 0.1.
For a dog that was probably a mistake to begin with.
Right.
Yeah, it was like gasp. I mean, there was just like, well, that's
It wasn't
that's
even
over.
a puppy. It was like
It was pretty well grown.
It was like 3.5 months old. Like, that's the time where they should be trying to push them out the door because no one's going to buy an adult dog from an Uncle Bill's.
Is there a scratch and dent area at Uncle Bill's?
So we'll get to that part. So we said the hell with it. This is ridiculous. We went to lunch. We had pizza at the BJ's, and I don't think there was anything all that interesting over there, other than us having very good desserts. And the we
With
figured out
fillings.
no, not so much. It was all very disappointing. So we realized that the animal shelter wasn't too far away, and they were open on Sunday.
And they had 51 dogs available for adoption.
Yeah.
Which our first dog was
There's my dog.
There's Riley. The first dog that we had.
47 of them, I think, were pit bulls.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, at
Yeah.
least. It was incredible. And which is really sad because you're like, where do all these pit bulls keep coming from? Like, and the first thing that comes to my head is like, oh, they were probably rescued from dog fighting rings or something, which is just a horrible thing to think about. Then you feel bad for the dog, but then at the same time, personally, I've never really liked the way that pit bulls look. I mean, they're just not my type of dog. And it's just, we took one out because I felt bad for it. And I was like, you know what? He's $60. And I was like, no, I shouldn't just be like, okay, I'm going to get this dog because I feel bad for it. Like, And the thing is it wasn't even the dog that was in the worst shape there. Like, children had been coming and training this dog to sit and roll over and everything. So it was like, why do I feel bad for this dog? He's had the most love he's ever had in his entire life in the past 3 weeks. But we ended up not finding anything there, mainly because it was so loud. And there was pee and poop that was like an atomic bomb to all of your senses.
You couldn't even have a conversation. There were 2 kennels. And you walked in. It's off Harding Street on the southwest side of Indianapolis. And you walk in, and every dog is barking, and it was wild. So I've been to the Newcastle Animal Shelter, and I think did you go with us, Danny, when we went up to Ohio and got Woodrow and Gus out of that animal shelter up there? You skipped that one
adventure.
Yeah. If you had gone, we would probably come home with 4 dogs instead of 2 from that trip.
Selective.
Yeah. So this thing. There really weren't any puppies. It was a lot of pit bulls. There was one dog that kind of got my attention a little bit. It was but it had. I think
it was
had
a German
heartworms.
Shepherd
yeah,
mix.
it was a
named
Shepherd
Bubba.
mix but he had heartworms, and we were all like, not today.
Yeah, which is sad. Which it wouldn't have been that big of a deal if you hadn't already had a dog in the house.
Yeah.
That makes it a little bit more worrisome. But
so we struck out at the animal shelter. We all got muddy, though. We took them out to play, and because it was such a rainy day, every dog jumped out. Like, every one of us wound up with paw prints.
yeah, they were trying to jump all over us because they were just excited to be outside. Which it was fun to play with the dogs. I will admit that. I had fun.
Almost as fun as putting up a fence.
Yes.
So after that,
Almost.
we said we have time for one more Uncle Bill's. So we went to the West 38th Street Uncle Bill's in Indianapolis, and that's where we discovered that there is a discount bin of puppies.
There's a scratch and dent puppy shop.
The ones that have been to all the other stores and no child fell in love with.
Yeah, the lady that was helping us literally said that. She's like, because we played with a Rottweiler and with a yellow lab, and they were marked down incredibly. Like the Rottweiler was like $800, originally like $2,200, and so we asked the lady, we're like, why is this dog marked down so much, even though it was a little bit older? And she's like, well, he's only been here for a week, but he's been around to all the other stores, and this is kind of the store where we mark him down. It was like,
This is the last stop before we open the back door and let him go.
You're free now.
yeah. So be on the lookout in a few weeks. There might be a Rottweiler at the Humane Society in Indianapolis.
So we played with the Rottweiler, and I thought you really liked the Rott, but it didn't.
I did.
You didn't reach for the wallet. So then there was a yellow lab that was out front that was like a baby Riley. You know, it was a lot like Riley. So I wanted to see that dog. And a little part of me was like, oh, I could do this. And then we played with it for about 2 minutes.
Ooh.
And it was an absolute tornado of puppy teeth and jumping.
It wasn't even that. Like, that dog was more hyper than any puppy I'd been around.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. You always hear the stories about Uncle Bill's Pet Stores and how their breeders are very suspected of using inbreeding and everything. And I feel like that has to be a side effect of it. Like, this dog's family tree had no branches. It was a straight trunk where it came from. And it was crazy. And then we were playing with it, and one of its teeth fell out.
Yeah. It's like 6 weeks old, and I can feel it lose its baby tooth as it bites my hand.
So
Like, it bit every one of us.
Did you make a necklace out of it like people did with shark
teeth?
teeth?
No. No, but the blood started.
Oh, there's a lot of blood. I was wearing the same shirt I'm wearing today, and there was blood all over it. I mean, luckily Audrey's good at doing the laundry, and it came out, but man, it was crazy.
Yeah, I had blood on my shorts. I had blood on my leg. I wanted to give the dog back at that point. It was too much.
Yeah,
and I couldn't.
Okay, we're done.
It wouldn't let go of my leg or my shoe. It was crazy. So that cured me of puppyitis. Yep. I think for a little while, because I was like, there's no way. If I brought this home, my life would just be over. There's not a chance in the world.
Yeah, you really. I mean, honestly though, with Riley getting older, it needs to be within the next couple years.
Yeah.
Whenever you get a puppy. If you want another dog.
I will, but Riley was the perfect situation getting a 3-year-old, so I didn't have to deal with any of the puppydom at all.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I understand that, but if you want a puppy, then having an older dog at home is the way to go. Whenever we brought Daisy home, she pooped in the house twice, peed maybe 3 times.
Yeah.
And I didn't hardly do anything to train her, and every bit of it was the other dog in there. It was a miracle.
Just worked it right out.
Yeah.
MJ and Aaron have a rescue dog from a humane society in Indy, right?
Is this dog taking the trip with you?
MJ's lobbying for it.
So, as of right now, she's going to be staying at her mom's house, Aaron's mom's house, my girlfriend, until we come back in November. She's got a really nice house, doggy door, fenced-in yard, a beagle, and a cat that they all get along with. And my dog has become an expert hunter since living there for the last month. But she's going to stay there, and then we're going to take her with once we leave again in December. And the main reason is many of the national parks we want to go to. Surprisingly, you can't take your dogs on the trails.
Really?
Which seems weird because it's,
a trail
in the woods. But I don't know. There must be some reason, so maybe they don't want to disturb the bears or
the
whatnot.
Natural hummus.
The natural.
God forbid you have a dog to defend you against a bear attack.
Exactly. So she will be coming along, but we got lucky. She's 5, so she's pretty calm and she was house trained.
Yeah.
What's the dog's name?
Otter. Her name was Mocha, but we didn't really care for that name, so we decided to call her Otter.
What kind of gay is she? She's an otter or whatever? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's an otter.
Middle-aged, a little overweight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's not otters.
Is that what that is?
No, that's a bear.
Oh, slightly pudgy.
Yeah, an otter is
confused.
An otter is a smaller bear.
I don't know.
I'm an otter. Remember whenever I got in this debate with Seth, and he ended up being so distraught that he left our group chat?
I haven't seen him in a while.
He called me a twink. Do I look like a twink?
I don't know. I need to have him come back by and explain all of these things back to us again, because I took terrible notes.
We just met, but I would definitely not classify you as a twink.
And Seth knew me better than what MJ does.
Seth just wanted you to be.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where this conversation is.
So
what kind of dog is your dog?
They said she's a shepherd hound mix, but I don't know. Some days she kind of looks like a boxer. Some days she looks like a chow. She's just good old fashioned mutt.
She's just
It
a
really is
shapeshifter.
however she has her hair did.
Really, yeah, exactly. It just depends on how she's feeling that day.
You looked at you looked at some sort of a bloodhound or something too for a little too long in there, and Sarah and I both had to say that dog is going to howl. Or maybe Audrey did.
Which one?
in the shelter. There was a spotted hound of some sort.
Oh, yeah.
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 I highly advise not having that in your house.
I've always loved the way that bloodhounds look, though.
Me too.
Yeah.
I think they're awesome.
Yeah, they're really cool dogs.
That and basset hounds.
I've
Yeah.
always wanted.
They look cool.
I've always wanted a hound or
Beagles.
You
no
could
way,
do
no.
what
Yeah.
Covance does and just take their voice box out.
yeah.
Well, they're not allowed to do that anymore, but
Well, we typically don't mention the names of companies that do things that we don't agree with, but hey.
I didn't get the rule book.
We're
No,
running
it's-
low on time.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Danny, you've always had your dogs. You've kind of adopted a little bit older dogs too. You've never had a puppy on your own where it was just like 8 weeks old and you had to start from nothing.
Yeah, I've always tried to let somebody else do that kind of work and then hope for the best in the training. I have a
You like to go to the inner city and adopt big dogs that have that just need loving.
yeah.
That's
I
where both
have-
of yours have come from.
I have a 200 plus pound English Mastiff that came from the east side of Indianapolis from a ethnic family, and I'm pretty sure I made a 2-year-old girl hate the white man for the rest of her life.
You took Cooley.
Yeah, I had this little girl in the Lawrence area after her grandfather said that I was taking the dog home. This little girl put both her hands on her hips and looked at me and said, "Cooley is home." And I just kind of shrugged and put my head down and said, "Well, Pops, you're going to have to take care of this one."
Yeah.
School let out early that day.
That's an awkward situation to be in. But I've always wanted to have a bloodhound named Red.
Like the song?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
just
like
like
it.
the song.
You gonna
Yeah.
train it?
Yep.
Well, Red's heading south.
Yeah. But I guess
Can't you just play the song and be happy?
love
That's not
got
a-
me in here, love got me out.
That does not sound good in my ears. I apologize to all the people that just crashed their cars in the podcast.
We need Tanner Purdue here. He's
We do.
a country music star.
He's our Toby Keith impersonator.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to our next wall party.
Hey,
which-
Uncle Sam, put your name at the top of his list.
Danny, if you reconsider and make a return appearance to one of those things, I'm trying to get a karaoke machine. So we
I
have
promise
karaoke.
that Jeremiah
So-
won't pry your mouth open and pour Guinness down it again.
Yeah. It was pretty sure it was a Yingling Black and Tan the first time, and it was Guinness the second time, and then...
Which did you like more?
I am a sucker for Guinness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. You said, Jeremiah, you're wrecking your house. I'm leaving. He said, no, you're not.
Sarah was on the couch about in tears.
Yep.
She was having a great time.
He didn't get like that at his birthday.
No.
If that makes you feel any better.
Well, he was older.
Yeah, that's right. I obviously learned
There
my
were
lesson.
other things going on at the birthday that
We could go into that.
unspeakable acts of debauchery that cannot be
Those
dealt
are, those
upon.
are,
The mayor of Newcastle listens to
those,
this
those are,
podcast.
yeah, those are behind the paywall. Yeah.
That's for the MA-17 version.
Yes,
Yes.
we try to keep this as a PG-18 podcast. That's our goal. That's our general target. All right. So I failed miserably at getting your fence built, Dakota. So I had said, here's my list. We'll get you back on the calendar. And I hit you up last night. And you said, oh no, it's all done. Everything's in at the gates.
It's all done. And I think that Tad Western asked me how many Mexicans I brought over, and told him it was just my dad because he's the ultimate hombre. And it went so fast. It was unbelievable.
A lot better without me insisting on measuring or making sure things were
Well,
level.
no,
right?
it just turns out that if you take the panels down and put them up like one at a time,
Oh,
as
in the
you go,
exact same spot as
It-
you're going along?
yeah, it just goes so much quicker.
It's true. When I got there, you had knocked down every panel along that side.
I had, yeah. Well, it's because you were late, Jer.
I was not late.
You were like
We
8 minutes late.
I was 8 minutes after the scheduled arrival time.
We worked so fast on Saturday morning at Mom and Dad's to get stuff done.
You have no idea the situation that Danny and I had got what we accomplished in 3 hours of work at my parents' house. Two and a half stock loads, stock trailers full of stuff. We moved old wheels, a stove that's nearing 100 years old, a toolbox.
Black walnut husker was also something that was moved.
Yeah, there's some random stuff.
Yeah, you called me and it was like 1 o'clock, and said, "Hey man, it's going to be about an hour," and so about 2 o'clock, the original time we planned on, and then you said, "Have you done anything?" I was like, "I'm sitting on the couch eating Chinese takeout, watching the autopsy of Jane Doe. I have not done anything today."
Yeah. Well, that's because originally you had said, "Oh, I'll just do the demo or whatever, and we'll knock it out together." And then
That didn't happen.
Yeah, Dakota's much less talkative. If you get him on the phone, I've not had a long, in-depth conversation
I
with
hate
Dakota.
talking on the phone.
I get like 5 seconds. I tried to
hate
confirm the podcast for tonight. This is the way it goes with Dakota. If I look at my text with Dakota, there's like 9 texts from me out, none in return.
Nope.
Sometimes I'll get a group message back, and then I tried to call him just to make sure, hey, we still on track for today? Didn't answer my phone call. But he was sitting in my driveway when I got home, so I was like, all right, well, he's good. So the only confirmation I had since we talked on Sunday, I guess, about this, was I wrote on MJ's wall, tagged Danny and Dakota liked it. So I said, well, I know he at least
He's aware.
kind of remembered.
That's where I'm going.
But he followed
Tuesday.
through, so it worked out. It works out fine.
Sounds
Well,
like if
you know what
he doesn't
happened?
say he's not coming, you know he's good.
All right.
You know what happened with the phone call, though, is, if you get into the car or the truck, in my case, and you forget to take your phone out of your pants before you do it, and then somebody calls you and you have to take your seatbelt off, and you're trying to get the phone out of your pants, and
That's why they invented the hip clip.
it just didn't work. Yeah. I'm not 70 yet.
That
I
comes
remember
with
those being really cool in high school, and people were starting to get phones. Everybody had them hanging on their pants, and then they just became exactly what you said. If you're not 70, don't do it.
At this point, they come with the
I love mine.
407 shoes.
I have to carry 2 phones. I have a work phone and my personal phone. And
a
I don't.
burner, or?
No, it's my phone. I have data on to run my Empire,
Okay.
and then the sales phone. So I
Right,
carry
the
both.
sales phone, that's the burner.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, that's the the day job phone. So that one's off during off hours, and I don't have room. I don't have room in my pockets for all of that. I gotta have keys and 2 phones and a wallet, and
Phones are giant.
Yeah. It's like you're carrying a phablet. It's like 6 inches across. And then people
that's
bitch
why
at you for wearing cargo pants. I don't know how we're supposed to live in this world. I can't wear cargo pants because those aren't cool.
Oh,
I'm not supposed to have a hip
how
clip.
uncool cargo pants are. I don't care what they say.
I don't
Cargo
wear the
pants
pants,
forever.
but I wear the shorts.
Cargo shorts. Yeah, there you go.
If I'm allowed to dress myself, I'm wearing cargo pants or cargo shorts.
I'm so happy Sarah came along and took that power away from you.
No, I still do it. She just looks at me and rolls her eyes. If I'm at home because I have the pool and I'm in and out, I will put my Crocs on. I don't care. I have them for the boat. But then I take the trash out and walk across I don't want to have to slip stuff on and off. I go up by the pool, or I have to work with a filter. The Crocs, I'm going to be the last guy standing for Crocs.
Every time I see you
I just
wear
wear my
Crocs,
slippers.
all I can think of is the movie Daredevil now, when he comes into his house. And
Not
puts on
Daredevil.
It's
Deadpool.
No.
Deadpool.
Yeah,
Yes, it's
Deadpool.
Deadpool.
He puts on his squishy masturbating shoes.
Yeah.
So
I don't wear them out of the house anymore. I accidentally wore them out one time last winter. Total stupid move. And I went to...
That was the wedding I saw him at.
No, I did not wear them at the wedding.
They had the charms on them and everything.
They have fancier wedding appropriate Crocs.
I may look into them.
My dad has a pair of golf cleats that are Crocs.
See? Your dad and I need to meet. Your real
they
dad,
might
not
help
Greg.
your golf game.
I was okay today. I was okay. My team shot a 67, and we used a few of my shots, so I feel pretty good
That's
about
good.
that. No, I was walking into the Casey's gas station, and there's no tread on them because I've had these Crocs since 2011. So I went into Casey's like Kramer, and I slid across probably 6 feet, and the clerks are right there, and all of the customers are there. So I'm like flailing, caught myself, went back and bought whatever my item was, and went home. And I said, well, I'm not wearing those out anymore. So
You could run some drywall screws through the bottom of them and give you a little more traction. in the
I
winter.
could do that. I need winter Crocs with chains on them.
Yeah, chains.
That
So
says a lot about the shoes, though. If you've had them for 6 years,
yeah, exactly.
already,
I'm
And
committed.
You've got a lot of torque. when you step.
Yeah. It is a violent walk.
It's got a lot of torque. It's like 308 horsepower.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Crocs, cargo pants if I can. I want a belt so I can have my hip clip, and then if weather's permitting, I'm going to wear a fishing shirt. I'm going to wear like a Jack Hanna vented, breathable shirt. That's the ultimate apparel. If I don't give a damn about what it looks like,
You're 72 years old.
I cannot. I've looked forward to being retired since I was about 12.
Are you looking for houses in Florida currently?
No, but I know that people that live there now will be dead, so they will come available when it's time. But yeah, I will make the greatest retired guy you've ever met.
I think the sooner you realize you don't want to try to be, cool anymore, the better.
Yeah, I don't give a
Because you're
damn.
comfortable, you're happy. That's really all.
What
that
do I
matters.
care?
Who cares what? Yeah.
I have a certain way I have to dress for work, and when I'm at home, t-shirt and shorts.
I mean, I'm wearing Velcro sandals right now.
See?
So if
Indeed
I could
you are.
if it was okay for oh man, my tan lines with these bad boys. Whew.
And look at how your life's going.
Yeah, exactly. You could be just like me, everybody listening. If get some Crocs, get some Velcro sandals.
And one
We've
day
got
be
it figured
featured
out.
on HGTV.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or the Boss Hog of Liberty as a stopgap.
It's a status symbol now.
This is much more desirable than being on HGTV.
So as far as the big media
Oh,
tour goes
hell
for the
no. I love
Astro
HGTV.
people, what sort of promotion have you done? You've got an Instagram, I know that.
We do have
How do we follow you on Instagram?
If you want to see a couple of homeless people living in a 17-year-old Astro van, you could follow us on Instagram. It's Roam to Home, ROAM, then the TO, not the number 2, TO, home. Pretty easy, Roam to Home.
Rome number 2 home was probably already taken, right?
Yeah, that one. That's a much cooler name. Their account sucks though. It's
Yeah,
terrible.
they're driving a 13-year-old Astro.
yeah,
and
yeah.
Ugh, scum.
did you tell me about the van? How did you find the van? How did you settle in? You wanted an Astro? Were all the Windstars sold? What was
So-
how did we get to where we are?
The Astro is kind of a blessing in disguise. We were looking on Craigslist all the time within, really like a 200-mile radius. And at first we thought we just wanted something bare bones, maybe a cargo van, or if there was a decent conversion van, kind of already built out, that would work too. So we looked at everything from a 1986 Chevy G20 to a newer 2007 Dodge van. Obviously, the Volkswagen would have been cool.
Right.
We would have been allowed in Portland if we had that. But those are expensive and they suck.
Plus, they have the German connotation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to go rolling through and be accused of being an Illinois Nazi.
Exactly. I hate Illinois Nazis.
I'm
I
proud
always
of
have.
my German heritage.
Yeah, that's fine.
That is a big announcement that Dakota and I have. He came to me with a plan for the podcast that he wants
Yep.
to do a purity test,
Yep.
and he wanted
I've been working diligently on this project all day today.
today.
Yeah.
You're a day and a half in. Yeah, this morning I knew Dakota was alive because he texted me and says, I have traced back my heritage all the way back to some guy named Kroger or Kroger.
Hans Koger.
And says,
He was born in 1688 in a town in Germany. It is a direct line through my grandfather on my mother's side.
so we're
I'm
going
glad they spit in that cup and saved it for all this time to be able to connect those dots
So that's
for everyone.
that's the deal. Is Dakota bought the spit in a cup test, and I said, well, I will get on board with you as well. So I spent the $87 for them. Yeah, that's what it costs.
Oh, mine was 79.
Well, you didn't pay the shipping. You got it. It was 79 plus
Maybe
shipping.
mine was free.
Well-
Did you sign up? Have you signed
No,
up
I
for an
didn't sign.
Ancestry
No,
account?
they didn't trick me into getting the Ancestry.com account.
Let me know how our results are. This way I can save $90.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I got to go to my two siblings and be like, hey, PayPal me a third of this.
If you want
$30
the
bucks
results,
each. Yeah,
you pay me.
I'll tell you.
Otherwise-
I'll tell you what we are.
You'll never know.
So yeah, I in like 2 weeks they're gonna mail us a thing. We spit in it. I guess that's the only fluids that they
Yeah.
required for
Yeah,
this
That's
test.
the only fluid.
Can you give them any kind of bodily fluid?
I don't
or is
know.
it spit only.
I mean, I can.
The directions say spit.
Okay.
I might cut open my palm, though.
Right. Yeah. Just go next trip to the pet store. Just bring your cup with you.
Yeah.
And throw some blood.
That would have been puppy blood though. I don't know. I don't
That's
care
true.
about. I do care about the heritage of that dog
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
We
so
know the heritage of that dog.
Amish. So then once this is going to be like December before we know the answer because we pee in the cup or whatever, mail it off, They tell us it's not our baby, and then it takes like 2 or 3 months, it said, depending upon how busy we are.
6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless and then so by the time the Colts are eliminated from the playoffs, we should know that we're some sort of Europeans.
I just got the email today. Mine's on its way.
And when did you order it?
Probably 3 days before you.
Okay.
It's going to be pretty neat. I've been wanting to do this for a really long time because like you said that you've been able to, somebody in your family has traced your heritage back to where
we can get to the Mayflower.
Yeah, to the Mayflower.
Nathaniel Bradford and the Mayflower, our dad's mother.
No one in my family has ever done that. Ever.
We worked for the moving company?
Yes, we brought the Colts to Indianapolis in 1984, and then before that, Mr. Bradford, he found a way to keep half the people alive so that they could freeze to death in Massachusetts.
Is that also where they got your phone clip and your Crocs?
It's a relic.
Old family heirloom.
Once again, it's an otter box.
Yeah.
It's an otter. Bring him back to there.
We today I've been, as I told you, I've been working on this family lineage today. I found a guy. I'm not sure. He's not one of my great grandfathers, but he is a sibling of one, and his name is George Washington Shane Isaac Coger.
Is he still signing? Is he still around?
No, this was in the 1800s. I also had my third great grandfather was born in Kentucky, the south of Kentucky.
Shocking.
And yes, shocking.
A guy from Newcastle traces his roots back to Kentucky.
Yeah,
Nobody ever saw that coming.
And he ended up fighting for the Confederacy in the American Civil War, and his son ended up moving to Ohio to fight with the Union soldiers. So it's like just trying to imagine the drama that was in that family at that time is incredible. But now it's all gone because they're dead and nobody remembers their names.
Did you sign up for the 1 week so you have to learn all of this in a week, write it down, and then
No,
I
bought the 6 months.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
you really didn't want to spend that $8 on shipping.
I did the free one, and then it got so deep and it was so time consuming. I was like, I'm just gonna pay for it. Fair enough with it.
MJ, have you done this? You done anything like this?
No, I had
Do you ask mommy and daddy where you came from?
Yeah, I mean, I have. One of my aunts did something on my dad's side, and kind of just the only thing we know is my great grandpa was from southern Italy, came over, got ran over by a truck at one point, but not before he had 11 children. So
got that order of operations. Right.
One of our family heirlooms, actually a couple of our family heirlooms, are some chips from a little gambling house thing that he kind of was part of, some old felt tops from the craps table, so criminals, which is
that's pretty cool.
I'm doing my best to kind of keep.
Did they come over through New Jersey then?
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
Well,
they made their way to East Chicago, Indiana, which is a great neighborhood.
There we go.
Yep.
My grandfather did quite a bit of work on our lineage, and I bought in fully when I had our coat of arms tattooed on my body. So hopefully that pans out to be accurate.
It's the one we've adopted because Danny and our cousin Donnie have really committed to it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what the paperwork says.
It's the one we're going with. It's the one we're committed to. If somebody comes by and says, actually, it was this other one, that didn't look as cool. Danny will kick somebody's ass.
We also found, let's see, my fourth great-grandfather was a first cousin to Audrey's fourth great-grandmother.
Son of a bitch.
Sister.
So now I'm going to an inbred wedding.
Yeah. That's what I said. It was like whenever you sign up for Ancestry,
Didn't you want to not know that information going in?
Find out some things you don't want to know, it sounds like. They don't tell you that when you sign up. I'm sure.
And, I mean, that's the farthest it goes, which it's actually... I was looking at it, and I happened to see Strunk, which I knew was her grandmother's last name. It's like the Strunk family tree. And I said, is your grandmother's family happen to be from Kentucky? And she's like, yeah, why? I was like, because I just found something pretty interesting.
Why don't you go ahead and sit down?
I was like, great.
As it turns out, the wedding is off because we have the same great-great-grandmother. And I just don't know what side the family's supposed to sit on anymore.
No, my fourth great-grandfather was her fourth great-grandmother's sister's first, or aunt's or something's first cousin. Yeah, it was
Very complicated.
very complicated.
We're pouring now. The podcast is paused because MJ. What are we drinking? It's a chili water or something.
So we got the Blood Orange IPA, which is a IPA infused with blood orange.
How do you make the oranges bleed? Will you pour for me?
You get real stabby with them.
Yeah.
Stabby, slice.
Actually,
slice.
we get a blood orange concentrate, all natural blood orange concentrate from a company who does a lot of flavorings and concentrates. So it's one of our IPAs. It's Amarillo Citra Chinook hopped IPA that's then infused with blood orange.
All right.
And it's been our number one seller by far since we've had it on tap. So.
Do you get involved in the brewing process, or do you just sell the beer?
No, I pretty much, since I've been there, over the last few years, I've been the kitchen manager, one of the front of the house managers. Last several months, I've worked in the brewery a little bit, but just washing kegs, cleaning stuff, you know.
Oh, wow, that is awesome. That's a really good
You got
beer.
the full endorsement. I got to get to the bottom of my Sam Adams before I can move into this the blood orange.
This one also, I would say is, I don't know, I wouldn't say it's tart, but it is refreshing. So we're half as good as the Sam Adams. So I'll take that.
There
they know
we go.
what they're doing.
So back to the van. We divested into the. We went down to the rabbit hole that Dakota's been in for the last day on how pure he is. This van is set up pretty well. You've got the bed. I mean, you're not just in a box van. It's like an RV, or somebody's used it for this type of thing before.
It's an all-wheel drive cargo van that I haven't traced its ancestry back, but I'm sure it was a plumber or something along.
Where was it built? Do you know? Do you know the original location?
Baltimore. Actually, I looked it up. It's from Baltimore. And we got it from a couple who lives in Alaska, and he works for the railroad, still kind of a low man on the totem pole, so he had some time off one winter, and him and his girlfriend decided to build it out. So they did a great job. It's insulated, hardwood, nicer floors in there than I have in any house I've ever lived in, which is pretty cool, I guess. So it's insulated, nice floors. There's a roof vent. And they traveled in it for, I think, about 8 months or so.
Does it have a smell? Did they leave a residual smell, or is it okay? Is it pretty neutral?
It doesn't have that new car smell. They did include the sheets, so that was cool. They did throw in the sheets for us.
That way,
brilliant.
You don't have to worry about fresh sheets. They've already provided them.
They've broken them in. You're not going to get a weird rash because you haven't washed them yet or anything. Well, you're not going to get a weird rash from not washing them.
Yeah,
because they're new.
You're going to get some sort of an Alaskan disease.
And the bed is, kind of one of those spongy memory foam beds that, thinking about it now and all the things that have absorbed into it over the last couple of years, we'll be fine. I'm sure.
Just put new sheets on it.
Yeah, well, we bought some new sheets, but I think we're going to keep those too.
So how do you like the laundry, the showering, all of that stuff? How's that going to work out? Is that planned, or is that just you're going to figure it out as we go?
Those things that's kind of what we say. Like, if we had $1 for every time we got those questions, we would never have to work again, and we could live in the van forever.
I figured the podcast people, we're an hour into this thing, so they're like, how in the hell is he going to be homeless? These are the questions we have to cover.
No,
this
absolutely.
is contractually obligated.
It's good to know in case anybody's life ever goes into shambles. You need to live in a van. Laundry, we're not taking very many clothes. You're
going to have like 3 T-shirts?
Bare necessities. I'm packing significantly less clothing than my girlfriend, and that's fine.
1 pair of underwear.
3 socks.
Yep.
Maybe a shirt. No, just do the laundromat thing, and we have, friends and family scattered about, so whenever we can use their facilities, we'll do that. Showering is a big one that people ask, because obviously it's a small van, there's no way to shower in there.
It's got to be a gym membership, right?
Yeah, we're going to do Planet Fitness. That's kind of what, on our research, we've looked at a lot of other people that have been doing this, and most of them are all members of Planet Fitness. $20 a month gets you into any Planet Fitness.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
The whole country, there's like 2,500 of them or more.
And you're going to get ripped while you're out there then.
I don't plan on working out at all. I just want the shower. And apparently every Thursday they give away bagels, and one Friday a month they give away pizza.
Pizza. Yeah, and the pizza. That is like, okay. I
That's
used
5
to,
free meals.
It's the most
I
most
used
excited
to do-
Dakota's been all day.
I
right
used
now.
to have a Planet Fitness membership whenever I worked in Muncie, and it was like you see the same people, whether or not you're there at any given time of the day, and you always see the same ones there. But then the once a month Friday
the pizza people.
yeah, are people that it seems like they signed up for the membership because they wanted pizza.
$20 a month, and I get pizza once a month.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So you're a veteran then. Is there a rule on taking pizza with you? Do you have to eat the pizza there? Or can
Oh,
you just-
absolutely not.
Okay,
People
cool.
walk out with full plates of pizza all the
Awesome.
time.
I mean, that membership's going to pay for itself. in pizza. Absolutely.
I'm pretty sure people were taking pizza to feed their family at home.
So, and then you're gonna like stay in the country? You're gonna go to Mexico? I mean, how far? How crazy is this gonna get?
I would love to spend a winter in Baja, but maybe next winter, because this winter we're going to be back here for part of the time. We're going to stay in the country, kind of do a big loop. We're going to start up in Michigan, go through the UP, down through Wisconsin. We have some people to see in Wisconsin, Iowa, and then from there, just kind of head over to the Dakotas. We want to be in Wyoming for the eclipse, because the best part, well, one of the best parts is going right through part of Wyoming.
So that's like August 23rd or something. You
Yeah,
got to get all that done
21st.
before August 21st or 23rd.
Yeah, that's really our first big milestone. Is we want to be there by that date. Other than that, we don't really have too many dates set where we want to be places. We're gonna go up to Canada, so we are gonna leave the country. We're gonna go up to Banff National Park, maybe Jasper National Park, come back down and head west from there. Do Washington, Oregon, Idaho, California, and just everywhere that we can, really. After those states, it's kind of up in the air, the route, but basically a big loop. Spend the winter somewhere warm. I know my boss and his wife are spending the month of January in Key West, and he hates me, so I'm going to try to spend the month of January in Key West also. But here he has a couch for me to sleep on, so.
That's right. That'll be perfect.
Audrey and I have very seriously been considering doing a tiny house, constructing our own.
In the backyard, just for when
like
you needed to escape.
buying a few acres, and not like extreme tiny, like the 200 square foot houses that people have, but like something like 400 to 500 square feet, like a craftsman house. I think would be really awesome.
Something just small enough so that you can't have guests.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
absolutely.
You're not
Which is-
invited over. I have
Yeah.
literally no room for you to
Yeah.
sit down.
So it looked
Sorry.
like an oversized gingerbread house.
Yeah.
Essentially. I like it.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. That's kind of one of my things before the van. I mean, I always thought it'd be awesome to. I would also wouldn't want to live. I don't want to live in a van forever. Let's make that clear.
Someday you want to live in an RV.
It's basically a mobile tent at this point. We have a Coleman burner, 2-burner stove. So it's. I mean, it's.
Do you have a refrigerator, or are you just going to go
just
cooler?
Do a cooler, yeah, and try to.
You got a Yeti, or you get the Ozark Trail
actually,
brand? What are we working with?
our Coleman cooler was included with the purchase of the van. So.
All right.
Yeah. Got to go with the Arctic. That's what we have at work, and they hold ice for like 3 days.
I think we might end up upgrading at some point. We're gonna see how this one goes. And,
Relatively cheap too.
maybe ask Mom for a cooler for Christmas or something.
Do you guys have a GoPro?
Yeah, we have a GoPro. That's on loan from Aaron's dad, which is pretty cool. I have a pretty nice camera I picked up on eBay a while back.
Where's Aaron from?
She's from Crawfordsville.
Okay,
The
never
Craw.
The Craw.
The Crawl.
Yep. Crawford, and I wouldn't mind living in Crawfordsville someday in the middle of nowhere.
No.
I grew up in the
Crawfordsville's pretty nice.
region, so that kind of appeals to me. Either city or middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I would much prefer middle of nowhere. I do not like living in town, and I live in a small town.
Yeah. It is nice to be in the middle of nowhere. I know it was funny, we were at Danny's house, 4th, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, it was great. It's like, hey, you want to shoot some guns in the backyard real quick? Absolutely. You can do that in our old neighborhood. It's just not technically legal, but people still did it.
They would call the
often.
cops on you. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were typically shooting at each other.
Yeah,
Normally
they
you're
were
shooting
shooting
at
at other
aiming.
people.
We did. Yeah, we weren't. Danny and I weren't shooting at any humans. Just a piece of wood, so it was fine.
With a watermelon hat.
He did look like a Nazi soldier.
Probably a
out.
little Nazi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't last long.
No, he's dead.
Took him down. So what about tech? You got like computer? Are you going to be blogging as you go along?
Yeah, we're going to be blogging,
or monetizing this thing.
No, I mean there's so many people out there who are way cooler than us and already. There's
already capitalized on the venture,
and that's awesome. I wish some company would give us free stuff or pay us to take pictures with their product in it. That would be cool.
I feel like the first call should be Chevrolet and be like, "Hey,
right.
I'm testing the hell out of one of your Astros."
It is like a rock. This thing is. You guys were not bullshitting. This is awesome.
Honestly, though, like that might actually be a decent idea. Like, hey, come look at what this Astro van has been turned into. Get some footage on it. Put it on your Facebook page, and it could be a great marketing opportunity for Chevrolet.
So you have an awning, so you're gonna have some chairs or something. You're gonna have you have the whole camp set up.
Some hammocks. We do have a little tent, they say it's a 2-person tent. It's like a 1.5-person tent.
You have to stack them.
Yeah, it's just my girlfriend and I, so that's fine. Pretty much the bare minimum. Honestly, we have a little 20-watt. Is it 20? It might not even be. I think it's a 20-watt. Little foldable solar panel to charge phones, our laptop, not our laptop, sorry, phones, camera, and we have a giant portable battery that we can charge with that, which will charge stuff. An inverter to charge the laptops and stuff while we're driving. And Erin's actually going to continue working, so she's not a complete bum. I'm going to be homeless and jobless. Luckily, I've planned and saved up some cash. But
I feel like at this moment, I feel like you kind of moved in today. Your van is sitting in my parking lot.
Yeah,
you're here.
I mean,
you haven't asked to shower yet, but I'll show you where the towels are.
I was going to say, honestly, I don't know. We didn't talk about it, but I'm staying the night here.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
I figured that was the deal.
Yeah, I mean, you've noticed that we're asking you like so many questions. You get a lot of questions from other people.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it's because everybody that is asking you questions wishes that they could do the exact same thing.
And that's what everybody says. I'm like, it's really easy to quit your job and live in a van. It really is. Especially
you just don't want to end up like Cousin Eddie, where the gas money goes out 100 miles ago.
Exactly, and that's one thing I'm glad we don't have to do is like clean out a toilet or anything. There's a lot of public restrooms around the country. So,
well, Hannah and I found out about this probably 8 months ago, I would imagine.
Yeah.
And
this is not a rash decision. Like Danny and I, if we decided we were doing this, it would be happening like tomorrow. You've been planning this for the better part of a year.
Yeah, close to a year. We've been talking about it, and then certainly we started seriously looking for a vehicle November of last year. So yeah. It's been a while.
If this would have happened for me and Hannah, it would be because I lost my job. It was a fire sale, and it was what made sense at that knee-jerk decision. But we were very excited when we found out about it. How did your parents take it? Were they pumped for you?
Yeah, they're super pumped. I'm sure they kind of wish they would have done something like that, but I mean, they only have me to blame for that. They had a kid, so they can't do it or couldn't do it.
You ruined the fun.
I ruined all the fun. Yeah.
Well, they can do it now.
But it's funny too because a lot of people. I mean, we read a lot of blogs, watch people on YouTube, all that. Follow some people that have been doing it for a while. And one trend you see is a lot of people have these like corporate jobs, make a ton of money, but they always say how unhappy they are in their job, and it's just not everything it's made out to be. But for us, it's different because I work at a brewery and make food and drink beer. It's pretty sweet. I love my job. Erin, she works for a florist. She does marketing. She's a marketing coordinator for the florist. She really likes her job. So,
but she can do that remotely.
Yeah. She put in her 3-month notice basically, and then they offered for her to just work remotely. So
she should have done that 2 years ago.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have any skills that will transfer remotely. So
what about mail? Like, I guess you're just going to escape the mail system.
Those are just bills you want to avoid.
You don't have to. It's not like you have a mortgage to pay. The van's paid off. You just get away from
it. Yeah, I've got my cell phone bill, insurance, mail.
What if you get jury duty? Oh my God!
You can cancel the mail.
You could try. Kramer. Yeah. Kramer will hunt you down. The Postmaster General is going to just sweat you.
Exactly.
Wilford Brimley or whoever it is going to set you down and start whipping on you.
Yeah, it's pretty cheap. I mean, some people have these like $60,000 setups in a Sprinter van. These one people we like to follow. They have a Volkswagen Westfalia and they bought it for $10,000, put $30,000 into it, and it still breaks down. So I mean, you can spend as much.
that would have been that would have been me.
It's a cool vehicle, though. I mean, the Astro's a pretty sweet van, but Volkswagens look pretty bad.
Are you going to travel with the toolkit just in case, or are you
Yes.
going to? Are you have AAA? What's the plan
Aaron,
for the
Aaron
first
has
time?
a AAA membership. I'm taking everything that I need for stuff that I know I'd be able to fix.
Plenty of duct tape,
A lot of duct
and
tape,
ratchets.
WD-40.
can of WD-40, some fix-a-flats. The guy gave me some really nice jumper cables, which they look like they've never been used, so that's a good sign.
Remind me, and we'll run by the house tonight, and we'll pick up that sunshade for the front window.
I got one.
Oh,
Gander Mountain, they're closing.
There you
Everything's
go.
practically free.
Oh yes,
that's right. I bought some socks there the other day.
Oh, yeah.
I bought a squirrel hunting vest. No
Really?
joke, I really did. We've been talking about
Does that
I
have like
really
little
did.
nooses on it, or what makes it a squirrel vest?
It has a large pocket in the back.
That's where you put
And
the dead
that's
ones.
where you put the dead ones in the large pocket.
understand.
What do you do with the blood as it runs out?
It just soaks into the vest.
It just gets that squirrel hunting. vest
There's really
flavor.
not. You would be surprised at how little blood there actually is whenever you kill a squirrel, because especially with a pellet gun or a 22, it's just quick, clean. They're just
And from my
Gone.
experience, things don't bleed that much, typically.
no, except for humans.
Yeah, they bleed a lot, in my experience.
I've bled a lot. Yeah. I actually gave blood a couple weeks ago. 4 gallons in my life now. I bled 4 gallons for the Indiana Blood Center.
Yeah, we got
Big
tied
time. I
on
got
money a
track
couple
marks.
years ago and tried to donate plasma.
You did?
Yeah.
I went through
Ah.
a phase where I tried to use that as a source of income.
Yeah,
To go
yeah,
sign-
that was us a couple years ago. I made like 11, 13 an hour. Was trying to remodel my house, and it was just it was horrible. There were
Make your
times
way to
like
the
it
east
was
side
like,
of Indy.
okay, well I can't get gas, and I hope I make it to work today because I have $4 in my bank account.
So the
And-
wheels are spinning now. I realize I can work remotely.
You can, yes. Yes.
It was
What plasma network is in Utah?
yeah. So we
And do they track each other? Because I can get on 5 or 6 plans and just circulate between the states.
so I
He's
told
going to be
Audrey,
the
I'm like,
palest guy we've ever seen in our life.
I thought
Completely
you were on
drained.
vacation. Why are you so pale?
have you donated 8 times this month?
It's going to look like Doc Holliday, just pale
Yeah.
and coughing and
Just
sweating.
wearing his entire wardrobe is blood center shirts and stolen rubber gloves. And he eats. All he does is eat
cookies
eat the
and
cookies
juice
and drinks
boxes.
the juice from the blood center.
Between the free cookies and juice from there and the pizza and bagels from Planet Fitness, my food costs are going to be nothing.
And the webcam industry is huge right now. You have the GoPro. You can do
That's
some
true.
POV stuff.
Well, that was
you
the other
know?
question I had
Yeah.
about the van. Was the history of it? Is if you search certain websites, did you run across your van?
It's a smaller van, so I think we're on to something. We do tiny house bus sessions or whatever. I don't know.
Wow. So what you need to do? I know on the back of it you got the Alaska sticker. You need to get the old school RV thing where you got the whole country and you put the sticker on the back. Yeah, showing where you've been. Yeah, I think you do need to break down and get that one on there.
That's one thing we got to really step up our sticker game. It makes your van go faster if you have good stickers.
If
Yeah.
you add some NOS floor mats, it'll add like 15
That's
horsepower.
true.
I would get the WeatherTechs.
Yeah,
You never
the
know.
WeatherTechs
You never know what's
add-
going to get spilled
Oh, yeah.
spilled in there.
Yeah,
the
but they're not
WeatherTechs add
sporty
at
like
least
the NOS.
the WeatherTechs add like 18.
Do they?
Yeah, and if you buy the WeatherTech stick-on hood vents,
Yes.
Ooh,
that's
yeah.
another 3. So
Dakota has the only SS Chevy Sonic in the state of Indiana. I think. Is it a
Yes.
Sonic?
yes, this is Sonic.
It's a sedan. It's a very sensible sedan. If anybody wants to buy it, you're down to about $8,000 now. What's the going price for the silver
You just
Sonic?
take a look at the statement from the Teachers Credit Union and give me what that says.
I just got a loan through Teachers Credit Union, and this may have been a terrible decision, but at the time,
You
I
haven't made
didn't-
a payment yet, sir.
no, but at the time, I didn't have enough cash in my checking account to make the down payment I wanted to, and I couldn't transfer the money and do it
Right.
quick enough. So I put the down payment down on my credit card. Now,
You put
it sounds terrible, but they're going to pay me to put the down payment down because of cash back.
Yes.
So that's smart.
Yes, but if you forget the payment, you just paid 18% interest on your
Yeah.
on your 3% loan.
Well, that's what Audrey is incredibly smart when it comes to credit. Like, she uses her credit card every month. She has one credit card that has a substantial limit, and then another one that they have been trying to give her increases on. She declines them, calls them back and says, no, I don't want a credit increase, and uses that to make every single one of her purchases ever, and then at the end of the month just pays it off with her checking account. It's like, man, I would not have the willpower to do
discipline,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no way. And she's 20 years old and has a 730 credit score. And I can't even imagine that. Like, mine just now broke 700, and I'm like ecstatic about it.
You're getting ready to have to combine finances and go through that whole thing.
Yeah,
Is that what you're going to do? Have you worked that out? Are you going to be separate but equal?
We are having a combined bank account and then separate bank accounts as well.
So you're just going to have even more money. You're going to have like 3 piles of money.
I already have 3 piles of money. I already have 3 bank accounts. No, 4. I have 4 bank accounts.
When I went to buy my first house, I had 0 credit, and I think I was 24, and I realized that I had not lived my life how I was supposed to if I wanted to ever make any major purchases.
Somehow you did it, though. It worked out. They let you buy a house.
Yeah,
and you already had a truck at the time, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tricked him.
They always say no credit's better than bad credit.
That's true, but it makes things real complicated when you have your credit written.
My grandmother has been remarried, so I have a step-grandpa, and his son went missing for 20 years, and they thought he was dead. And he finally...
After 15, you start to give up.
Yeah. He finally came back up again. It turns out that he was a professional welder, and he's 50 years old now, and they went up to visit him, and he lived in a small shack in Indianapolis, and he had no bank account. He had 0 credit, had paid cash for everything in his entire life, was going to a check and a cash to check in his checking, like his actual...
his weekly check?
Yeah, his weekly paycheck. And that just, I don't even understand that. I had to take a personal finance class whenever I was a member of the IBEW Local 855, and one of the carpenters in there is like, well, I've never had a bank account in my life. Our personal finance teacher just was kind of taken aback, like super shocked, and he's like, my dad always told me that you better pay cash for everything, and you better keep your cash on your person. And it's like, oh my God.
Did he have a fanny pack?
He did not have a fanny pack. He was a carpenter, like Jesus.
Also Jewish.
Yeah.
All right, so we probably ought to get to our final thoughts portion of this little podcast. Danny, we'll start going around the table with you. What you got? Anything else you needed to cover? You want to pitch ways to get in touch with you? What's the? I know you're not an avid listener of the show by any means, but that's typically what this portion of the show is reserved for.
Can we give out his phone number?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Multiple
765
561
We'll stop there.
21
00.
No, I appreciate being a guest on the show. I found it very enjoyable. I'll definitely tune in a little more. I'll probably avoid listening to this episode because it will drive me absolutely crazy to hear my voice. So I apologize to anyone that's having to listen to it, but it's been very enjoyable. I'm looking forward to hearing more about MJ and Aaron's trip around the country, the Rome to Home, and I think it's going to be really exciting to see. And I think there's a lot of people that are going to be envious of the trip.
Well, good deal. If people want to follow you, I know you're on Twitter all the time. You're a close personal friend of Dan Dockich, the ESPN personality. So you're on the Twitter. What's your Twitter handle so people can follow you there?
I'd have to look at it to be honest. I have an Instagram. I think that's at DP Morrell, and then
Daniel Paul. That's what it is.
I don't know.
Daniel Paul Morrell.
My Twitter is at DMaxJuiced. I have 154 followers, so I'm pretty popular.
Well, you can look forward to the Boss Hog bump after this.
And then on Instagram, my Instagram appears to be DP Morrell. No, I'm sorry, just D Morrell.
D Morrell. Yeah, God forbid you're consistent.
There is a DP Morrell out there that somehow just appeared that I have no idea how it was created, but that's up to like 90 followers. I've never had a post.
Is that you?
It looks like me.
So somebody uploaded a picture of you
It's
on
the
this
same,
fake account?
No, it's the same one as my other account.
Maybe you're duplicating yourself. I don't know. All right.
So that's all for me.
Well, thank you, Danny, for being on. MJ, I guess it's going to be a little while. We're going to do a folloup episode with you at some
Yeah,
point. Maybe when you
definitely.
come through at Thanksgiving or when you make the big return back.
Yeah, we'll be back in November 10th till right after Christmas. So
All right.
I just hope you're not in tears mourning a breakup at that point.
Oh, God.
well,
You know, this show has ridiculous power, okay? Because we joked about stuff like that, about his damn dog. And then what happened, Dakota?
The dog died.
So
Aaron's not a quitter.
if Danny caused Aaron to change her mind about the van life, it's really Danny's more.
There have been
Morrell's fault.
premonitions made on this show that not even like at a level that Game of Thrones has been written at.
this house is built on sacred ground, from what I hear.
This house is built on sacred sewage
Sewage
ground.
Yeah, exactly.
That
yeah.
2 weeks ago, the mayor let me know that they're going to have to spend $3 million to fix my sewer problem. They haven't officially announced it yet, but you heard it here on Boss Hog Liberty First. We're all going to have these little pumps put in the back in the yard. We're going to have a pressurized sewer system, and it's going to cost each homeowner between
The
$5
mayor
and 10
listens
grand.
to the show, by the way.
Yeah, so the mayor,
How is he at judging food? I'm just wondering.
I thought he did fine. However, we had the outdoor cooking contest a couple weeks ago, and the mayor was one of the 3 celebrity judges. And one scorecard that was associated with my girlfriend was lower than the others, and we're pretty sure it might be because Dakota keeps saying that the mayor's going to knock down all the buildings in Newcastle.
I heard the mayor
and so that you can
had-
see the mayor's house in Westwood over by Danny's place. But I didn't say that.
I heard the
He might be
mayor
right.
had a terrible palate.
I look forward to you participating next year, Danny, in the outdoor cooking contest at the county fair. So, MJ, Roam to Home on Instagram. Is there anything else? Any other way you want people to follow you,
Roam
track
to
you down?
Home on Instagram, Roam to Home on YouTube. I don't know how many videos. We've posted a few videos. We'll see if we get into that. Website is roamtohome.com.
So you got a website and everything.
Yeah, it's just a little blog.
Is it like on
So-
Squarespace or how do you host it?
It's through Wix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wix. Yeah.
That's all Erin. She's the brains behind the website and the blog. So, my Instagram is _Jordan Bruno. Some pretty cool pictures on there. I think I like them. But yeah, thanks guys for having me over.
This was
It's been
fun.
Pretty awesome.
Well, you're welcome back anytime. If you need, if you get within 40 miles of Indianapolis and you need a hot shower or laundry facilities,
Yeah, I was
you know,
gonna say,
you don't have
just
to join the gym.
Keep the pool
it's
open
all right.
a little bit later this year. You know, I don't even have to come inside. Pool, pond, whatever's good, man. Yeah.
Just bring a bar of dial and you'll be all right.
Sounds like Caddyshack.
Well, Dakota, we've had a lot of togetherness this week. We normally don't hang out. We don't see each other except at podcast night, and I think I've seen you Saturday, Sunday. I mean, we've like 3 out of the last 4 days. We've had ridiculous amounts of togetherness.
We have.
You're probably about over it at this point. That's why you're not
At
returning my
this point-
texts.
At this point, I'm just tired. I'm sleepy.
I understand.
Jeremiah is a nonstop kind of person, and I am a stop and take a breather for a minute person.
I've turned into this extrovert. I don't know how it happened, but I bought this house that's 3,000 square feet with 3 living rooms and a pool, and I always try to have people over.
That is why
we
I
keep
want,
it going.
That's why I want a 400 square foot house.
You want a 400 square foot house with a moat and 7 dogs,
Really
Yes.
far away from everybody.
and I will still force myself
Build the
upon
wall.
you.
Hashtag build the wall around Dakota's house.
It's literally what we did last weekend.
That is what we did last
We fortified.
weekend.
All
Turned
right.
out very good.
So people know how to get a hold of Dakota. You got any other final thoughts? Anything to promote?
No,
You
just
want to pitch in towards your Ancestry.com account, your costs for the purity
send
test?
me some PayPal payments. It's if I want to get out of the country, it's an additional $150.
If you want to trace it all the way across to Europe. So, well, from my end, appreciate all the listeners. I want them to like and subscribe. It's been a lot of fun. I have been going nonstop. We had no episode last week. We had the Henry County 4-H Fair. Spent about 8 days out there running the Henry County 4-H Junior Leader Food Booth. I've got a completion trip coming up where I will be trying to not irritate about 20 kids that are between the ages of 7th grade and high school. I like them more than they like me, I think, which is always entertaining. I just like to pick at them. What my way, Jordan, is I find the thing that they don't like, and then you just it's 3 days in the woods. We're gonna go to Holiday World and go camping, so I'm just gonna flick it a little bit.
Find what somebody hates and just keep needling them with that, whatever that is.
And sometimes you connect, and other times they'll just never talk to you again. But it's fine; they're graduating anyway. So we got that. We did the outdoor cooking contest. I guess I'm going to be announcing. I should probably promote this. Myself and my friend Greg Phipps, the Sulphur Springs, Indiana Mud Bog is coming up. Big community festival, August 26th.
The Astro's all-wheel drive.
The Astro is all-wheel drive. If you can hang tight or get back around.
Next time I see you, it'll be lifted.
I'm putting Big Black jump. Big Black's going to be a part of it.
The Sulphur Spring Mud Bog is coming up, and it goes from about 4 in the afternoon with the quads until about 2 in the morning with the trucks that scare the living hell out of you, where Greg and I jump off the hay wagon that serves as the media booth. And we jump underneath and try not to die. They go from one side to the other in about 2.5 seconds.
Welcome to Central Indiana.
That's the it's a premium event. So we're looking forward to that. Look up the Sulphur Springs Mud Bog. Go spend $8 and support a community festival. And if you don't go to that, go support something. Go to the state fair. Just go get out to a community event. Once again, really appreciate the listeners. Like and subscribe on Facebook. Follow Boss Hog Liberty on Facebook. And we appreciate the syndication from We Are Libertarians. We will catch you all next time. Is that our sign-off? Do we have a sign-off, Dakota?
I don't think we do.
We really should work on that.
Make America great again.
No, that's not it. That is not it.
Get it, got it, good?
Get it? No, that's something else.
It's taken.
Yeah.
Can I just drop the mic?
Like a rock?
Yeah. No, see, that's yours.
Yeah, like a rock.
Yeah. Danny needs something Japanese to go with his new new car.
Cocaine.
Cocaine. Yeah, we'll go with Clapton. So yeah, cocaine.
Yeah,
cocaine. All right, or Johnny Cash's. She shot the bad bitch down. Either or. Anyway, we'll get y'all on the next one. Thanks for listening to episode 15 of the Boss Hog Liberty podcast on We Are Libertarians.
Thank you for listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Get our other shows at WeareLibertarians.com.